tell you that I can defend myself from whoever is trying to abuse me or trying to use me for anything. What I want to say here is, anyone that's trying to abuse me, I'm going to say no.
I want to tell everybody that please say no to drugs and to always prevent yourself from anything. Always report any crime that is around you. That is
teenagers and youth from our various barracks and seeing all the youths here.
Does the woman look nice? Okay, next picture. Yet another one. And this is just 4 years apart. This is what drugs can do. This is the effect of drugs.
Today, the President DEPOWA has not only gathered us here to mark her 1 year in office, she is also impacting the lives of the youth with a seminar on preventing sexual exploitation and abuse, which shows a strive for excellence and meaningful footprints in the lives of children and youth in the barracks community and beyond. Reflecting on the past year, the positive impacts of the 15th President DEPOWA, which can be seen and felt by all and sundry, our vision, dedication, and hard work has helped to steer the association to enviable heights. And celebrating this milestone also serves as a reminder of the contribution of the revered 15th President of DEPOWA. Upon her assumption into office, Mrs. Ogogo Musa has made a remarkable effort in empowering the wives of fallen heroes and vulnerable youth within the barracks community and beyond. To mark a 1 year anniversary as the 15th President of the Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association, Mrs. Ogogo Musa has hosted the barracks teens and youth to re-echo the voice of United Nations Secretary General, stating that sexual exploitation and abuse have no place in our society.
The activities of DEPOWA within the past 1 year have focused on adding value in the lives of women and youth, especially in the areas of healthcare, fitness, education, agriculture, and skill training. All of these align with my vision of seeing women and girls becoming productive and contributors to family and society, driven by the deep sense of value and hard-working spirit. We will not relent in our efforts to keep touching lives in ways that are necessary. As such, we have deliberately articulated a focus of programs carefully lined up for execution towards renewing the hope of a better life for members of our communities as we begin my 2nd year in office. Distinguished girls, ladies and gentlemen, the choice of hosting the barrack teens and youth as I mark my first anniversary in office, is deliberate, and the topics have been carefully chosen. The menace of sexual exploitation and abuse is prevalent.
The seminar and celebration took place today at the DEPOWA School, Mogadishu Barracks, venue of the one-year anniversary, to deliberate on the menace of sexual exploitation and abuse which is prevalent in the society, as many occurrences go unreported and the barracks community and its environs are not exempted.
The United Nations Secretary General, in stating that, and I quote, "Sexual exploitation and abuse have no place in our society," end of quote. We recognize the severity of the consequences, and we aim to work towards reducing its prevalence within our communities and immediate environs. We also thought it necessary to sensitize the youth on the menace of drug abuse and how to avoid it so they can have a promising future. In all of this, it is important to know who you are, know what you want to achieve in life, and develop some personal values that will guide you into achieving your goals.
The first resource person spoke on the dangers of drug abuse during teenage years. She said it increased risk of addiction, impaired brain development, it resulted into mental health problems like depression, anxiety, and also poor academic performance, increased risk of overdose, result to death, and also cause accident and injuries.
And we just want to lay salient points for us to take home because we have a brief time. So by way of outline, while the slides come up, I'll just continue for want of time. We'll have a brief introduction. We'll learn about the signs of drug abuse. We'll understand what drug abuse is. We'll learn about the signs of drug abuse. We'll like to look at the dangers. Why is drug abuse very necessary, or why is it a very pertinent topic for us to talk about? Then we're going to look at prevention strategies, and then we'll conclude. So by way of introduction, I'm just going to read some statistics from the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. Recently, on 26 June, was an International Day of Illicit Drugs and Trafficking. So by way of introduction, it's important for us to know that 20% increase in drug abuse has been recorded over the past 10 years. 20% increase in drug abuse. And Africa has been projected to experience the largest growth in the absolute numbers of drug users. Again, in the next 6 years, 4 out of 10 drug users in Africa will be youths. Those are projections that have been made based on the current statistics. Meaning by 2030, if you bring 10 youths, 4 out of them are projected to be drug users. And then another statistic says that drug users in sub-Saharan Africa are expected to increase by roughly 150% by 2050. I just decided to lay this foundation for us to know the importance of why we have to address this menace, or why we have to address this rising thing that is destroying and wasting the lives of our youths today. This is also known as substance abuse. And when we're talking about drug abuse, we're just saying harmful use of psychoactive substances. Harmful use of psychoactive substances, including alcohol and illicit drugs. Now, what are psychoactive substances? So that we'll just break it down. They are substances that people use that can affect how your brain works. I went through college and graduated. So even though she had some years lost, she was still able to make the most out of her life. But it takes a lot of courage. It's better not to start. It's better not to start than start and pray that somebody is going to save you. So on a final note, we're saying what? Say no to? Drugs. Say no to? Drugs. Dear teenagers, you have a lot of untapped potentials. How many of us believe that? You have a whole lot The presidents of this country can be here with me right now. The doctors, the engineers, the accountants, the computer scientists, the inventors of so many things are seated right here in this room. Are you going to allow drugs to ruin your life? Are you going to allow peer pressure to lead you into a wasted life? Let us learn to say no to drugs. And on that I say, a drug-free life is what? A drug-free life is what? A drug-free life is? Thank you very much. Does the woman look nice? Okay, next picture. Yet another one. And this is just 4 years apart. This is what drugs can do. This is the effect of drugs. Let's look at the next one. This one is just 2 years. Because it's important to note that there are different substances, right? And people's response,
Another resource person who delivered a lecture on sexual exploitation and abuse gives ways to prevention and response.
Sexual exploitation and abuse are critical issues that affect individuals globally. It affects our region, the African region, and it affects our country, our noble country, Nigeria.
It continues like that until you become a professional liar. We will not have a professional liar in this room, do we? Good, you are listening. Well done. So if you are self-aware, you can objectively evaluate yourself. You can tell, oh, this is something I've done wrong. And once you know you've done something wrong, you plan on making it right. But if you don't evaluate yourself, you just keep living by the day. You know, anything goes, anything comes. And that is not a good way to live. If you are self-aware, you will manage your emotions. So if you are easily angered, you try to control it or leave the environment where that emotion will show. If you are the one that keeps laughing all the time, especially the young girls, that sometimes when you laugh too much, should I call them predators, will think, oh, you are inviting them, and then they will do the wrong things to you or with you. Do you understand? So if you know that you laugh too much, for example, you will know how to control it a little bit when you are in certain places. And then it is also to understand correctly how others perceive you, like I said before. How do you understand how people perceive you? It is by asking. Like the first presenter said, that you should always learn to talk to a trusted adult that you can talk to. Even your own friends. You can ask your friends, oh, how did I do when we went out the other time? Did I do well? Oh, what are the things you notice about me that you think I need to work on to do better? So those kinds of feedback can help you to do better. Now, do you know yourself? I'll take some quotes. Aristotle says, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Some of us will talk about other people. Oh, that girl did that. That boy did this. What about us? Do you understand? Do you pause sometimes to reflect on yourself, even when you find reasons to criticize others? There's another saying that knowing others is intelligent, yes, but knowing yourself is the true wisdom. So sometimes we don't even know ourselves, but others who are looking at us and experiencing us might know us better. So asking helps us. And there's another one that says the greatest discovery in life is self-discovery. Right? And until you find yourself, you'll always be someone else.
We have the good teachers and we have the bad teachers. Some good teachers used to give good advice, while some teachers were bad teachers. For example, we are having a lesson in class. After they ask you a question, you can't answer the question, you answer the wrong question. The teacher say after the question and listen. So he's trying to, after the class came and meeting, like he's trying to do a bad thing to you. I know that you are going to, first of all, after the school, you are going to go and report to the teacher or your parents. But before that, what are you going to do to avoid that?
I don't think any child should not go alone. Go with your friend, maybe two of your friends, and somebody is there to see why you are going. And if you know that that child is that kind of person, go and report. When you go home, also talk to your parents. And if eventually maybe you're in a place and maybe you're in the toilet or somewhere, and maybe such person is coming around, scream, shout, so that people around can come.
Over the past 1 year, Mrs. Ogogo Gwambe Musa has done as much as she could to make positive impacts in the lives of women and youth, especially the vulnerable within our sphere of influence. As we all know, DEPOWA is a melting pot that unifies wives of 7 officers in the armed forces of Nigeria and the Nigeria Police Force, and it has witnessed remarkable achievement from the various postal associations that make up DEPOWA, and they will continue to impact lives within and outside the barracks communities in diverse ways. Dignitaries on the 4th anniversary of President DEPOWA were the NAFOA and POA President and representatives of NAHOA and NOAA President. Olayemi Esun, Prospite TV.